I believe that it'll be a challenge, a big challenge for the industry, as new approaches will challenge the way we uh, we do VFX, and not only VFX but games, and also concept art and art in general. Um, I think it's similar to uh, the come of a camera, um, when people was just painting reality or drawing reality. The boundary of possibility changed when camera came up, um, but it it was not the end of drawing nor uh, paintings, right? It just kind of opened a door to something very different, such as, okay, pictures, camera can take pictures of reality, and thus human intelligence is not just camera. We have more to offer than that. And I believe machine learning and AI will bring some tools, bring some possibilities uh, until a certain extent where only human can do. And from what I understand, creativity is something very human so far, and that machine cannot do yet. I say yet because it may change over time, but up to now, it's something very unique to humans, being able to create something, to imagine something out of the blue. Whereas AI is based on knowledge, based on past common previous artwork and so forth. So yeah, I believe that we will kind of restructure what we do, um, and but still, I believe that we still love to watch movie, and I believe this will remain still. It's like children loves to hear the same story again and again, and we've been watching movies for so long. Storytelling has codes that works very well, and we love them. We love to be tell a certain story in a certain way. And I believe this won't change much, even though we have AI that is coming up. Storytelling will remain. I believe we will still love to watch movies, and how we're going to make them may vary, may change, but it's a tool. And I see already a few way where AI is incom uh, embedded, incorporated into Houdini as a tool, allowing to push the boundaries even further, to work faster. Uh, the link I just sent you a minute ago about doing clot shapes in Houdini in real time based on multiple thousands of clot simulations is like, okay, you place your character, and if you lift the arm, the clot pulls down and settle nicely, like instantly. Um, it's like a blend shape, as we called it in Maya, right? Anyway, um, you see, it's one tool. It's just beginning, and I believe it will come just more and more. And the amount of work, what I believe is the expectation from clients and from audience will just rise. We will expect to see more and greater and faster. And it will be just more challenging. And we will need AI to help us to reach the level of realism and creativity super fast. So it won't be easier that much. It will be just more tool and more things to learn and to master.
How are you think about the times when there's a lot of AI tools that are self-sufficient, but you just said that there's still going to be a lot to learn.
I believe that we like when clients will ask us VFX studios to produce something, it'll be because they cannot make it with AI because it's too unique. They want to bring an idea that uh, the AI cannot make it. Thus, they will need somebody, human beings, to generate these images for them. And we will need to learn tools um, as it is right now. It's like I imagine AI like a plugin. You know, when you purchase a plugin to help you doing rigid body simulation, or purchase a plugin to do fire or something. And this one is super powerful for this, and the one for another thing. And I believe some will come, and you will have to pay for this extra piece of software built with AI that brings that features, these features. And so um, when when you when you want control on something, from what I see, the greater amount, the flexibility, the more complex it is to master that tool. Um, and usually, simple tools are not super exciting, and you get bored of them very quickly. Say if you do smoke simulation out of a game engine at the moment, it's always pretty much the same. And so it will behave like smoke, a certain type of smoke, kind of realistic, but then that's it. And you cannot go beyond. Um, 10 to 15 years ago, like 15 years ago, um, in Maya, the way you were doing smoke simulation was always the same. It was really hard to go outside the boundary. If you wanted something custom, it was not possible. If the slider was not provided, then too bad for you. You don't have that flexibility. Nowadays, we can build the tools, um, say from Houdini or Maya or any 3D package, and we can build new tools and expose new sliders to the users so they can customize for each shot. And so from what I see, the early pipelines using AI is super complex still because you have to output different render layer. For each of them, you assign a prompt. So for example, you have one render layer that do a outline of the characters. Another one will do a puzzle mat for the background and the characters and so forth. Another render layer will be the depth distance to the camera. And in a prompt, you will specify for each element of your composition what do you want to present in what kind of context. And already the three for building this kind of graph is quite something. And we will want control over very specific prompts to express something very specific about something there. I think the amount of complexity will just continue to rise. We will want to be super precise, and prompts cannot be just super long, like 3 pages about something. It won't work this way. I believe that rather we will provide piece of what we want. Say, okay, I like this image. I like, and I want to have this composition, this camera movement, this kind of lighting in this direction. But for this element here, please give me a cat, this type of cat. So yeah, I think we will become super specific because it'll be possible.
So what you're describing sounds like there will be the need for assigning the prompt that's visual rather than textual, because
Yeah,
the
in a
way
graph, nodal graph. Yeah,
or actually have your own art as a starting point,
yeah,
because so you're also like a hands-on artist, like a fine art artist.
yeah. I like to
Um,
do. I still like to do exhibition to present something that is. It's not for cinema. It's. I want to do my own researches um, because I'm passionate and this is what drove me to come in doing VFX because by working in the day-to-day in the industry, I mastered the tools and I'm paid to become very skilled in 3D and this is the point of that is to help me to do when times comes to do my own work, my own artwork. And so when doing exhibition, I don't have um, to address um, clients' notes. I'm my own client, and I want I'm allowed to present like my own images.
so how is it helping you with your art, and you
Like
still feeling as an artist about like the outcome?
yeah, like the images that I gave you is out of a research I made on DAL-E 3. And these images are there to kind of um, alimент, to feed me with some imageries. Um, exactly the same. I use them exactly the same way as when I just browse internet or a book for references and just um, uh, kickstart the project. But what I do afterward, I never uh, presented any images directly out of AI, and that's not my project neither. My interest in machine learning is is to use it uh, inside of particle simulation. And this is just because I've learned about the fact that, oh, wow, I could use machine learning to teach to kind of mimic reality and DNA code. We can pass down to different generations information from their parents down to the children. And thanks to that, the simulation can evolve over generations. And if you have criterias that can tell, okay, these particle will die upon this uh, this condition, uh, the other particle will survive, then only the one that met the criteria will survive and thus can create a very specific, very different kind of simulation. It opens a quite a door to me. It's like particle simulation on another level. It's uh, it's like, wow, what can I do with that? It's a new tool for me, and I'm just super excited playing with that. You know, I believe that it can help building shapes that I cannot make other ways around. Maybe, but I'm like, let's play with that. We'll see what comes with that.
You're describing AI as a tool rather than an artist that's actually siding with you and you're working together. Do you think that in the future they could develop an AI tool that doesn't rely on all the databases of stolen art?
That's something that I've been told it's possible because there is in it's a AI that comes from France that is or used to be open source. So the code has been released. It is still available online on certain forum, and the idea is you can, with that, um, have access to AI on your computer out of your own database, out of your own drawings or your own writings only. Um, so it's out there. So the genie is out of the bottle. It'll be hard to put it back, right? So people with that will be able to generate out of what they want, out of what they have. Unless you build yourself a very good bank of pictures about something in particular, or maybe uh, hundreds and hundreds of drawings about something. But then again, uh, I don't see personally any interest in that. Um, I think machine learning and AI is very similar for me to a filter. You know, Photoshop filters. Um, okay, once you know it's there, it's possible. You apply it once on some pictures. Oh wow, it's so nice. But then you get tired of it so quickly because that's it, and it's effortless. And okay, as soon as you kind of understood what it does, you usually maybe I should speak for myself. I move on because okay, I know it's there, it's possible, but my interest stops really quickly.
Try to avoid the word advice, but what thoughts you have?
The way I approach it and the way I want to approach this challenge is to be led by my interest rather than by my fears. I want to go where I'm excited about the topic. So I want to go there. If I'm excited about something, I'll be eager to learn, and the information will just be absorbed so easily. Whereas if I go and pick a topic because I'm afraid of losing my job or being left behind, the scare um, will make everything very hard to learn. And it can be the same topic, but it's the approach that changes. Um, if you pick the topic based on your personal interest, your yeah. Uh, do you get my point? Yeah. Um, when we are driven from within, then everything becomes super easy to learn because we are eager to learn. We want to understand it, and then it's the interest makes the whole difference. And so, yeah, I would say try not to go based on your fears. Go with your art. It's the way I've always been. It was always be driven by my personal interest. And if you're interested in something, not only you will learn it fast, but you will become good at it because you just absorb it, and money will come as an outcome. Like, oh, by the way, here's some money. You know. Um,
If you were to think about bottlenecks in the current pipelines that you work with, that you have as a hope for AI to help
yeah,
and immediately just like save you.
yeah. It's resolution upres for simulation. This is a major one that could be such a game changer if we could only provide a low res simulation of something that AI upscales or make it wider or for a longer duration, something like that. This would make so much difference because the problem at the moment is it takes hours on the render farm, even though we have access to. There was 80 machine working for me like an hour ago. Um, it's great, but still, I cannot always have 80 machines. Sometimes my jobs are on the farm waiting for hours before they get picked up. And so the problem is there is a latency between the time you tweak the simulation, it looks good, and it's super heavy because you need the full resolution, and it takes 20 minutes to iterate one thing on a single frame. And so if we could work on low res and upscale later, that would be so different. And I'm pretty confident it's a question of months or a year maybe before it comes. If it works well for images, I believe we could do it kind of in the very near future as well for simulations.
Last question. The idea of learning like a new tool like Houdini or Unreal Engine um, may seem obsolete soon enough to young artists and thinking like, why should I learn something that's going to be replaced? How would you actually encourage people to actually study the way that's been done up till now, with the prospect already of AI changing the game?
Well, first, I would say for the interest, for the personal interest of being able to do your own images the way you think about them, I believe that AI won't um, allow you to really precisely take what you have in mind and put it on screen. Um, so for the interest, but also because I don't believe that Houdini, for example, will be obsolete that soon. What I see is, on the contrary, AI is embedded um, quite fast in Houdini, um, allowing tools to become even more powerful. Um, I don't think we will see a movie made completely out of AI that soon. Maybe just like, wow, an experiment. But I think it will take a while before um, VFX industry is completely put aside. Um, there are so many movies that are still shot where there's barely any VFX at all. It's just raw shooting. It's human speaking with other human, and it is still interesting. I mean, we don't need uh, high-end FX in every movie to make them interesting. In the same way, I believe that AI may bring something in the soup, and it will be useful until some extent. Maybe we will say, okay, let's replace this green screen with something. Maybe in some case it will help compositors, um, most likely, but some shot it won't work because something, because the client will be too specific on their needs, and there's no way to tell exactly that to the machine. So yeah, my own impression is we have still a good 10 years before uh, everything is different. I think it'll take a while still.